What's up YouTube, it's Duarte here. Hope you had an amazing week. Hope that you're okay in terms of your health and all your family is okay. This week was had some significant changes and events in the markets, and I'm thinking of changing my strategy because overall I think that the same story that I've been telling you in the previous videos is going to keep going for a long time. So in order, if I want to make my money, if I want to invest in any sort, I need to change my strategy in order to try to see things from a different perspective and see other markets and other industries, and that is precisely what we will do here, going to see the three of the major players in the cannabis industry. Okay, so let's jump right into our video. Jumping right into our screen, as we always do, starting with an overall analysis. We can see that this week for Nasdaq has been kind of well, it had a great start, but then it seems that it's starting to pull back into this line. I don't know why I drawn it, but still the overall market seems to be trending sideways. Well, I don't know if it will start to correct eventually, or if it will be able to maintain at this level. We can see that it had some trouble passing below this range. Okay, I'm watching Nasdaq, this range here. But let's see if in the future, I don't know, there have been some changes, some announcements for the government, for the new members. I think that this policy of stimulus will continue in the long term, but there is obviously a trade-off, and we are basically pushing this problem ahead. Okay, because with the stimulus comes obviously an increase in debt and a compromise in the real growth. Okay, watching for example the Portuguese stock index, we can see that it was a great week. It had a great start. Okay, also with the new announcements of the vaccine and so on and so on. With the Portuguese government already announced a contract with Moderna, one of the pharmaceuticals companies that are in the race for the vaccine, and in my opinion I think that it has been achieving the best results overall, as we can also see here in the chart, where the company in the last 2 days has grown more than 25%, and it is because obviously of these contracts that it is already gaining with major institutions like Europe. Okay, and it is major. Going quickly into my main open positions, we can see here that we are running on a profit, small profit. Okay, like 2%, not that much. Gulp is one of it's our best stock overall with a 31% gain. In absolute terms, I think I'm getting around 120 euros. Okay, my position is around 500 euros overall with the gains. BCP, as you can see, I've exited around here. Okay, but then the stock still continued to climb around almost 30% more. Well, you never know. I don't know. Based only on the past, we can see that the stock still has potential to go up, but I still haven't seen any fundamental catalyst that suggests me that it will be able to go up into the preceding levels around $20, 20 cents per share. Let's see if there is some change, but banking stocks for now are a no-go. Jerónimo Martins, a retail group, well, we are getting a modest gain of 3%, not that much. SAP is kind of breaking even around 100 euros per share. And lastly, we have Alibaba that this week recovered, but still with a minor gain of a little more than 1%. in the previous week I told you that I was going to look at the pharmaceuticals that were in the race for the vaccine, but well, and it doesn't seem that it will be a good strategy for me, because I think that I already lost the train. I think that as I told you previously, Moderna is showing good signs that it is leading the race. We still don't know, but the vaccine, it shows a high level of efficiency, and it can also be transported in the conditions to be transported aren't as demanding as the one, for example, for Pfizer, that needs a significant low temperature. So as you can see here, I think that Moderna and some contracts are already been established. So the best would be to have invested in the past. For example, doing the strategy I told before, investing a small amount in one place and a small amount in another. As you can see, for example, if we've invested in the beginning of November, Pfizer would also have increased, but imagine that overall we have invested around here. Pfizer would remain sideways, but Moderna would see a significant growth, and we could like counterbalance, and it is a sort of hedge. Well, not properly an edge as we would say by the definition, but you would be able to decrease the risk of your overall position, because you aren't betting only in one company. You are betting in the same industry, but in two companies that are in the leading for the race. But since this industry, I think that is already lost for me, I'm planning to start to look at other strategies, other industries. And this week I've chosen to do a brief analysis of the cannabis industry. I think that this can be a promising industry for the future, even though I don't use any of things, and I don't plan to use, and in my mind it still makes me a little bit of confusion. That is precisely one problem that the industry is still facing, as we will see. That is the mentality of the society overall. But I think that this, as a medical alternative, can present, in fact, several benefits. And well, I'm not an expert in this topic, but I think from what I've read that it is possible to take out the component of cannabis that most people use for recreative purposes, and focus on the medical benefits that this substance has. Okay, so this, in fact, can be an interesting industry in the future. Okay, it is still facing the activity in this industry has been increasing significantly, with several startups being created, also merger and acquisitions, a lot of activity there. But well, even in the regulatory in the topic of regulation, because it is one of the most relevant topics in an industry such as cannabis, and that is limiting still the growth of this industry. But some states, for example in the US, are already allowed to use this cannabis related products, already allow some cases. But overall, one other problem, as I told you, and I'm also a part of this, is the stigma that the society still has regarding this kind of topics. Okay, but if we see, for example, some statistics, I think the study is paid. It was made in 2019 this is important to highlight, by a manufacturer and distributor of cannabis related products. Okay, so we can already assume that this report can be a bit biased due to the personal interest, but still overall we could, according to their expectations, we can see that it is expected to this industry is expected to grow significantly, with a compounded annual growth rate of 14% over the next 6 years, okay, to reach around 30 billion by 2025. And this is the total sales of cannabis. We have also divided medical cannabis to grow at 17%, and also adult use in 16%. So we can see that there are good expectations for the use, and personally I also believe, because the only way here is to go up, because I don't think that we and medical expertise will let down this solution that can have a potential impact in the treatment of several diseases. Okay, so I think that this is still a good phase to enter. Let's see some of the opportunities that we have in this market. The three main companies I've chosen are Aurora Cannabis, the page is not refreshing, I don't know why. Canopy Growth, I'm missing these pages. Canopy Growth, okay, both Aurora and Canopy Growth are Canadian, and Tilray, I think that is American. Okay, so I've already taken the most important data from these companies, from Reuters, okay, and also a brief summary in order just to context a bit our analysis. And we are going to do a brief analysis to see if there is any potential in these companies, if they are already showing signs of being profitable. And well, let's see. Starting with Aurora Cannabis, we can see that it produces and distributes medical cannabis worldwide, and is vertically and horizontally integrated and diversified. Okay, it has, one of the things that attracted me is that they also have a lot of this horizontal diversification. It seems to be quite strong, and it is important because it allows to integrate all the phases of developing new products and also selling them into into the final customers. Okay, and it has several brands and so on. The structure is kind of similar between the three companies we will see here. Going now to the income statement, what we have here was taken by from Reuters, as I told you. Data of 30 June. Last data we have is 30 of June 2020. Okay, and as we can see here, to start with, there was significant growth in this firm's revenues from 2018 to 2019, with this growing like 5 times. Okay, and the growth still occurred in 2020, but at a minor pace. Okay, but this wasn't enough, and this growth hasn't been translated into the profit level, because as we can see, the cost of goods sold increased much more than revenues, and is much higher than revenues. We have 370 versus 280, let's say. That leads to a gross profit of minus 90 million CAD. Okay, these units are in million Canadian dollars. In addition to this, there is another major expense here called the unusual expense that I've seen. It corresponds to impairment in goodwill. Okay, a reduction in the goodwill, which is a bad sign. It shows that the company hasn't been able to, or the value that we assessed in the past that this company had, in fact, it was overestimated in brief terms. Okay, and this has led to an overall, as you can see here, net income after taxes of 3 billions. Okay, and this is pretty significant if we compare with the results that were already negative in 2019. The only green year was in 2018. So this company doesn't seem to be a good bet for me, at least for now. Continuing with our analysis, going to the balance sheet, we can see that there was a significant increase in both receivables and inventory from 2018 to 2019, but still I think that this is associated with the increase in sales. Nevertheless, if we have computed these values in terms of sales as a percentage, for example, I think that it would have increased also significantly. As I told you before, as you can see here, Goodwill has presented a significant decrease from 2019 to through 2020. That's one of the main motives of the previous unusual expenses. Okay, there are a lot of others, but still this is only a quick overall analysis. Going now to the cash flow statement, because it is also important to see if the company is burning a lot of cash or not. As you can see here, from the net change in cash, the company has been able to have a relatively stable amount of cash, but this is due to a lot of financing. As you can see here, in the previous years it has raised significant amounts of debt, and in the last year significant amount of has issued new stocks, and this is the reason that it has been able to keep such stable amount of money, because as you can see here, it is in fact a cash burning company, and this amount of cash is even increasing in terms of their operations. So overall, I think that Aurora Cannabis still has a lot of room to grow, even though from the chart I think it had a significant increase of 20%, but honestly I'm not seeing the value in this company, at least for now. But well, we live in a crazy time where companies that don't show profits have the highest growth in the stock market. So let's see. I think that overall, since it seems that the stock is being able to attract a lot of investors, and I think that, well, I might still try to follow that strategy of betting only like 50 euros, and let's see how it goes. But going now to another competitor called Canopy Growth Corporation. As I told you, the structure of company is similar. Okay, it does production, distribution, and sale of cannabis for recreational and medical purposes in both Canada, US, Germany, and UK. These are the main countries. Okay, it also operates through several brands similar to Aurora Cannabis, and it also well, tries to find investment opportunities. Is constantly active, trying to find new opportunities in this sector, in the cannabis sector. Okay, so going once again to the income statement, we can see a similar pattern in terms of both growth and cost structure, with revenues increasing in 2019 and also the cost of revenues increasing significantly. So this, I think, that will require a more profound analysis from my behalf. Okay, I need to see why these revenues have grown. I think that it is associated with progress in terms of regulation, but this growth that is much higher than the increase of revenues has been making companies unprofitable, even though, as you can see here, in this case, in the case of Canopy Growth, it has been able to keep a relatively stable amount of profit, of gross profit, in the previous years. But well, this year the increase in the COGS was in fact significant, and the same happened in the selling, general, and administrative expenses, growing significantly. That in the end leads naturally to a significant net loss. Okay, this in this case of 1.3 billion Canadian dollars. Okay, going to the balance sheet, we can also see a similar structure. In this case, this company has seen in 2020 significant decrease in their most liquid assets, okay, decreasing for less than half than the value presented in 2019. This is the main impact here, and this can mean that the company is facing some liquidity troubles, okay. On the other hand, goodwill has increased. I don't know why, but I need to see which type of investments it has people have been making in Canopy Growth, but it also raised some funds, as you can see here, from the increase in debt from 2018 to 2019, and in this amount of debt has decreased significantly, which means that it probably paid back some debt. So we have a bad start also when watching the cash flow statement. As you can see here, we are starting from the negative net income we have just seen, and also the company, in order to keep their to face their responsibilities, it has needed to raise a lot of both debt and also equity, okay, in the past, and only this way it has been able to keep a certain level of cash flows, and it is in fact still burning a lot of money. Going to Tilray, starting once again with the summary. Well, I haven't updated the summary here. It's a similar company, as you will see here, with a similar. We only have data from 31 December 2019 here, but you can see the same pattern as before, with a significant growth in terms of revenues. As you can also see, Tilray is a slightly smaller company than the ones we have seen before, with, for example, Canopy Growth showing revenues of around almost 400 million Canadian dollars, and Aurora Cannabis showing revenues of 280 Canadian dollars. Okay, I think that in this case we have US dollars. Okay, but well, I made this quickly just to give you an idea about these companies. Sorry, I want to go to Tilray. As I was telling you, the total volume is smaller here, but we have seen a similar pattern as before, with COGS increasing significantly, leading once again to a negative, to a loss, a loss in terms of gross profit, let's say this way. Also a major increase here, at least compared with revenues, with these expenses being higher than the total amount of revenues, which inevitably leads to a loss. Okay, and going to the balance sheet, we have once again a major decrease in the liquid assets, which can also present some signs that the company is also burning a lot of cash, and in fact it is what we also have here, with the company having to raise significant liquidity, new funds in 2018, but once again in 2019 showing that this is burning a lot of cash. So in the end, I don't think that any of these three companies will be a good bet to start in the cannabis industry. Nevertheless, this is still a promising industry in my opinion, so I think that I will still wait a bit more in order to see if the companies are being able to generate more money. That is one of the main problems we have seen here, and also see better what has led to the increase in terms of the cost structure that has been leading most companies to a loss in the most recent years. I hope that you have enjoyed, that you have learned a bit more about these companies. Comment below if you have any ideas of other industries that you would like to for me to analyze in the next videos, and I will see you there.